the human expansion into space is set to increase even more in the future. In fact, space travel via orbiting the Earth is already taking place. Perhaps in a few decades, trips to the Moon or Mars will be feasible. However, as space exploration increases, so does the risk of accidents. In fact, it's said that as many as 18 people have lost their lives in space. If space travel becomes more active, the number of people dying in space will likely increase significantly. So, what is the biggest cause of death in space? If someone were to pass away during a space mission, how would their body be handled and treated? In fact, the number one cause of death chosen by scientists is spacewalking. Once you venture into space, there's a risk of spacesuit damage by tiny meteoroids. If that happens, within seconds, the moisture in your skin and blood begins to evaporate rapidly. Also, due to the sudden drop in pressure, the organs inside our body begin to inflate. However, the biggest reason people actually die is from suffocation. Naturally, there's no oxygen in space, so you'll eventually lose consciousness due to lack of air. But you should absolutely not try to hold your breath. If you hold your breath, the pressure of the air trapped inside the body can severely damage your brain and lungs. Ultimately, humans are likely to lose consciousness within just 15 seconds, and if swift action is not taken within 1 to 2 minutes, they will suffocate. In fact, NASA does not have an official guideline for dealing with corpses. However, it is said that training on this is occasionally conducted at the ISS. First, a corpse in space is treated as infectious material. But the ISS doesn't have a designated space to store a body. Ultimately, the body is placed in a pressurized bag and temporarily stored in a cooler place like the trash storage. Or, using liquid nitrogen or the temperature of space itself, the body can be frozen and then shattered. This way, the volume of the body reduces, saving the space needed for storage. Indeed, this method was one of those proposed by NASA in the past. It may seem a bit gruesome, but it's likely proposed as the most efficient method in limited space. You might think it would be simpler to just eject the body into space. However, if the body is simply jettisoned without any kind of propulsion system, an unusual problem can arise. The body jettisoned into space is likely to continue following the spaceship instead of drifting further into space. If all bodies are ejected into space, you might end up seeing a line of the deceased trailing behind the spaceship. Also, handling a body on a different planet, not in space, is not simple either. For instance, if someone dies on Mars, the body must be cremated due to the Earth's bacteria remaining on the corpse. Also, if someone dies on Mars due to a damaged spacesuit, cremation is absolutely necessary. This is because we can't completely rule out the possibility that the body could be infected by unknown entities. You might think it'd be simpler to just bury the body in the ground. However, scientists oppose this because such actions could have unforeseen impacts on Mars. Anyway, the most important thing is that it's best to prevent any fatal accidents in space. As space travel becomes a reality, it would be great if technology and manuals for accident management also evolved.